Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with another presentation for you. Don't worry, this time I came prepared. And today, I'm here to talk to you about some new cool stuff for you guys for the upcoming year. This time, we're talking about the upcoming 2016 Christmas season. In this post, you'll find all the information you need, and it all comes in one post, about the upcoming season. The content will definitely be interesting, so don't worry if you don't know what you're talking about. I'd be extremely happy if you read it all. Enjoy! 2016 December 16 update. A lot of updates are coming into the future. First off, we released a bunch of new features in an attempt to improve performance. All we did is update the game to the newest version. This update should also fix problems with the client. Finally, we started to focus more on creating awesome and unique characters for your characters on the internet to get more feedback, and to make new art. In my last post, I talked about more details about our new approach to gameplay, which might also help your PC gamers. Tune in, which is what I explained. Since this post is pretty dense, you'll have to read back to my previous post to hear. After the last post, I have to make an apology for the lack of information, as I have tried to make this post as objective as I could. But I can't help but think it could be the case once I get through the next few posts we all need to know, to be able to make sense of the whole thing, and I am trying to be sensitive to the fact that they are all linked to news sites. We will never see a complete list of the events that were mentioned. There are all kinds of details I could include that were simply not reported in the US media or in the UK media. I'll post them in my next blog post, where I will start to cover things in detail. A complete list of the dates is already posted there. I'm going to write up another post with info on the actual events in this case, as that's what I'll look at now in depth. Thanks for everything! I think maybe some of the folks here who seem quite eager to push for more and a much larger variety of gun sales are quite a bit more worried that their constituents will then feel like a small percentage of the electorate rather than a large proportion of the electorate who will have a chance to voice their views in Washington. So there's some hope for that. But there's no one saying, okay, then everyone ought to have a shotgun. It's just, okay, then everyone who's going to be a member of Congress ought to be an AK-47 user, for good reason, and because everyone has a choice. But that's just my first thought. If this is a joke, it's probably a big one. But if this is serious business, as a guy at least, it's not a joke either. Shit, sorry. There has also been some discussion about the possibility that they may change the design of the device to include an accelerometer to aid in VR tracking. In their minds, this would solve a lot of the issues with the HTC Vive and give it a whole new level of immersion. Now that the official news site for Oculus Rift has listed the device as out of stock, it's unclear when its release may return. If the device is going to be officially confirmed, that announcement will most likely be via a press conference. That's where VR Focus will likely get the latest on the story. Until then, here's our take on every major Sony powered headset announced thus far. Sony is yet to give an indication how their forthcoming VR headsets and head-mounted displays will perform, but they have confirmed that they'll be ready to tackle some serious competition. The PlayStation 4, PlayStation VR, and PlayStation AllSense VR headsets all share the same technology, but they're unique in that while they both work in one headset, you don't fully experience them as if they're the only 3 players on the pitch. If we take a look back, we see that all 3 headsets were made specifically for professional use. In fact, we saw Oculus Rift founder Palmer Luckey's own game, VR Kings, being showcased at Sony's E3 2016 press conference just recently. In addition, Microsoft's HoloLens is still out at the moment, but that won't stop Sony from announcing them. Sony recently released 2 demos, the VIRTUA Tennis VR demo and the Last of Us VR demo. Both of these were shown in a very intimate arena, so we don't know their actual performance, but we do know that they're both impressive. Both games take time to develop, but they're also highly immersive. VIRTUA Tennis VR is a multiplayer virtual reality racing game developed by VR producer Oculus. The demo used a small 360-degree camera mounted on a table to follow players, who were given a series of commands to perform actions, such as move the camera quickly, roll, duck, and roll. At the start it looked like a great idea, but after a few hours it was becoming harder, and the gameplay was getting harder to play. As you would expect, players found it hard to figure out which commands were available, and what was going on, but after a few minutes there seemed to be a decent grasp of the basic mechanics of the game. So when the games had finished, there was a short break and I went out enjoying it with my friends after a bit of a quiet lunch break. The full-fledged demo was done as a proof of concept, so it didn't have much extra content. However, I would expect to see both Oculus and HTC going full steam ahead with something like this. What are your thoughts on VR? Feel free to share in the comments below.